Hello everyone, my name is Sybille. I'm super excited to be able to connect with you all here today online. I'm 16 years old and I'm a KidSpirit contributor from Haiti. I've been writing for the magazine for about a year now, and in the fall, I'm really excited to be attending the University of Toronto, where I'll be studying literature and hopefully continue to pursue writing. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Joel Sartore, who is an award-winning photographer, speaker, author, and conservationist. Joel is also the creator of the Photo Arc, which is a really cool project that's lasted about 18 years so far. He started it in 2006, in which he's photographed over 15,000 different species to raise awareness of the extinction crisis, which is obviously something that is very important. I'm honored to be interviewing him here today to learn more about his work, and I hope people watching at home can learn a little bit more as well.
I'm Joel Sartore, the founder of National Geographic Photo Arc and Video Arc. My goal is to document every species in human care around the world. That's mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, fish, and invertebrates. I do this at zoos, aquariums, and wildlife sanctuaries. More than 800 locations over the past 17 years. Each and every one of these animals is amazing. All are worth saving and deserve our protection. Today we have nearly 15,000 species on board the Ark. Each is a living work of art and deserves our full attention right now, while there's still time. I'm doing everything I can to get the world to pay attention and save them all. Now, how about you?
Like you said, there are certain species that are protected, I guess you could say, or that are qualified as endangered, and that people are trying to protect. And obviously, they're in danger of some of these invasive species that we were talking about. What would be the negative repercussions of such a huge loss, and why is it that we, as you said, we find ourselves in a position where we have to begin to prioritize some over others?
Well, the negative repercussions of what a huge loss, you mean in terms of losing that warbler?
Yeah, in terms of losing any endangered species or all of them.
Well, this is a really valuable question, because it speaks to this notion of people that aren't into nature saying, well, what good is that? What does that matter to me? Well, we can go back to the minnow that needs clean water, or the freshwater mussel or snail. When other animals have to have clean water and they're not surviving, their water's so filthy they can't live in it, that affects us. We get sick, we get cancer, our lifespans are shorter, more misery. And all the other animals that need that stream and need that clean water, they suffer too. It's complicated. It is complicated. I want to show you a picture on my phone. I just want to show you a little picture here. This is a, can you see that? Okay, that's an Indian mongoose. See that?
Oh, wow.
Now that is in a trap. That's in a trap at a wetland near Pearl Harbor in Hawaii last week. They put traps out for mongoose, and then they euthanize them. They kill them because they are an introduced species. Now, I sat and looked at that mongoose for a long time, and I felt sorry for it. It didn't choose to end up in Hawaii. Its ancestors many generations ago did. And I asked the lady that managed the wetlands there, and all the shorebirds and the native Hawaiian birds like Hawaiian coot, Hawaiian duck, gallinule. I asked her about this. And she said, if we did not euthanize the mongoose, which are not supposed to be here, which were introduced to control rats 50 years ago. Well, rats are nocturnal. and mongoose are only active in the daytime. So that didn't work. Now there's mongoose and rats everywhere. She said if we didn't keep mongoose under control by catching them and getting rid of them, we would not have a single ground nesting bird left in Hawaii. That one mongoose can kill every nesting bird's eggs and eat them, or chicks, or even the adults in this entire bay that we have restored to bring back the endangered Hawaiian stilt, a beautiful little shorebird that's black and white, and the nene goose, which is this beautiful, and then all these animals that were very rare at one time now are at least stable, kind of, because they're doing mongoose control and rat control. So it's not a pleasant thing. But if we were to just say, let everything go, let everything do its thing, again, we go back to this planet of the weeds. Would we want to live in a world that's so reduced in species diversity and just kind of city animals that just eat everything out of house and home and then are not controlled? I don't think so. These are tough questions and they're not very fun to answer, but that's kind of the truth of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a necessary evil, I guess. But I think it's hard because, especially when you realize that I mean, it's definitely the fault of humans because of all of the, technological advancements that, we've been able to achieve over the years. On one hand, they're positive, but on the other hand, they allow for things like this to happen and for innocent lives to be kind of caught in the crossfire, which is
That's
really
right.
unfortunate.
That's right.
Seeing,
Yes, that's right. So the choice, if you were, let's say you were a bird biologist in Hawaii, you would grow to deeply, deeply care about these beautiful, lovely birds that live there, whether they're water birds or forest birds. You would grow to deeply care about them. And you would not want to lose them to extinction in favor of an animal that shouldn't even be there. But yeah, the mongoose is an innocent casualty of this. Absolutely. But do we just have an island that just has mongooses and no birds at all? No birds? Just rats and mongoose, no birds at all? I don't think so. Hawaii is very famous for having the most beautiful birds in the world, and they still have a complement of original birds. And I think that these are the choices people have to make. They really are. But that's pretty hard to hear. But if you were out in the wild, and you know what, the biologists that work with these animals, they care deeply about all life, and including the mongoose. But the mongoose does not belong there, and the mongoose will, if not controlled, and the rats will eliminate what's left of the native Hawaii fauna or animal life, a lot of it. The best thing in the world, though, because we strayed a little bit into this, the best thing in the world is to protect habitat. To protect habitat. And in Hawaii, invasive species are very much a thing. But in most places, the reason that species aren't doing well is because they don't have enough forest left. They don't have enough prairie left. The tundra isn't cold enough for them. The oceans are overfished. To save big blocks of habitat that's intact, rainforests especially, that is really going to be key to human survival. Because let's take rainforests. If you were to eliminate the rainforests along the equator, those things not only provide homes for all sorts of different wildlife, but they regulate our climate. They really regulate the rainfall we get over the rest of the planet, and they cool the planet. So if we go ahead and keep cutting down all the rainforests, boy, it's going to be a pretty hot, miserable place with non-predictable rainfall. And this is why rainfall is such a big deal, because most of our crops that we produce are not irrigated. They grow thanks to the rain coming in timely amounts at the right times of the year. If we have severe drought, we can't grow grain. And that means like millions of really impoverished people will starve. And so it's very important to maintain the ecological balance of Earth. This is a big topic. But that's why people like me, when we hear that the rainforest is being cut along the equator in Brazil and Gabon and Congo, it's very upsetting to me. Because it's a much bigger thing than controlling invasive species. It is about all of our future. Now you're really talking about the future of all life on Earth and how we do as human beings, and whether or not there's civil unrest and misery and poverty. We really do need a stable climate to grow our crops to feed the world. I live in Nebraska. We know that better than anybody. So these are much bigger things to think about, and why we really do have to get a handle on leaving areas alone, leaving those areas intact, rainforests especially, in reducing our carbon footprint so we don't cook ourselves. Those are the big things. The invasive species thing, the lanternfly, the mongoose, those are important, but they are quite small in terms of their impact upon the planet compared to what I just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, we're the way some people might put it, it seems a bit like we're doomed, but I think it's important
No,
to,
no. Yeah,
but
I
I think
wouldn't.
no, I think it's important to understand that you know, we do have the power to make a change and to,
Yes,
go back and maybe fix some of the damage that we've done. Maybe not all of it, but
right.
some of it.
Right. Humans are capable of great things. And what I love about the human spirit is when we see a need, we want to fill it. A lot of people would love to do something to make the world better. They just don't know what. So you and I can help guide people in that respect. Like people go to my website, joelsartore.com, on our frequently asked questions page. We've got right at the top, we have what can you do? Here's 20 things you can do right at home to help make the world better. But the idea that we're doomed, no, I don't ever go there because number one, there's no point. Number two is I've seen too many good people doing great things around the world. Like I've known
Yeah.
people that have single-handedly saved forests and single-handedly saved species within those forests because they devoted their whole lives to it. That makes me very happy. And I'm never down or depressed or anything. I'm always up. Like, look at what you can do. I met a lady that saved the golden cheek warbler in Texas. She worked with a team of people. I met another man in Vietnam who saved two species of primates with his life. That's how he used his life. If you think of our days as currency, he used his life to save two fabulous species of monkey in the forests of Vietnam. I just think that it's a wonderful life. And we have so many great things that we can do. And this is a great time because we can tell the whole world about good ideas and help spread good ideas, maybe shut down some bad ideas. It's a great time to be alive and to get to work. I'm very excited about that. I'm kind of a fixer. I like to fix problems, right? And this is a great time. I'm telling you, this is a great time to get to work and to do really good things.
I think that's a great way to end off this conversation here. Just knowing that it's something that's important that we need to do, but it's also fun and it's also extremely fulfilling.
It is.
Um, yeah. So thank you so much for, being here today and for talking to me. It was amazing getting to hear more about the work that you do and, what I can do on my part or what anybody can do on their part to address some of these issues that we talked about today.
Well,
I
I
hope
really
that
appreciate
everyone,
it. I have a question for you.
sure.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
Well, you're way ahead of where I was when I was 16. I mean, the fact that you're really into the issues and you have a real conscience about killing lanternflies, stinking awesome. That's great.
Thank you.
And so if I were a betting man, I would say you're going to go on to do whatever you want to with your life, because you're a thoughtful person who's open to new ideas, interested in hearing new ideas. And that's the whole ball game, is to walk around, keep an open mind, learn what you can from good people, find mentors, people that are doing the kind of work you want to do, and then become really invaluable to them. Be so good they cannot afford to ignore you, right? And you're going to do great things. So I really appreciate this. I've enjoyed this a lot. The time has flown by.
Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, I definitely have my family to thank for that. We're all crazy animal lovers. My grandmother especially. I mean, she became vegan when nobody was vegan. And
Right,
she inspired a whole bunch of us to, to follow suit. And I'm really grateful to have received that type of education consistently and early on in life. I think it's really important to understand the value of this other world that exists,
right,
not just us here. It's a whole bunch of other things and amazing creatures and
right.
beings that also exist.
That's right. Well, it shows. It shows. You're doing
Yeah.
great. Would you do me a
Thank
favor and keep me informed of where you end up, please, just through our office?
you.
Would love to hear where you end up.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
All right. Good.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
You bet.
Bye.
Thank you.